I'm finally past the Galapagos, across the equator, and on my way to the Marquesas. It was 2 weeks of just beating into the wind to get to the Galapagos from Panama, and now I'm just going in a pretty straight line towards the Marquesas. Everything has been really mellow since I crossed the equator, and life is good. It feels really nice. This is day 17 at sea by myself. Officially the longest I've been at sea alone. The longest before this was 14 days. And it's just gonna keep getting longer until I get to French Polynesia. I have a little more than 3,000 miles to go. So it's gonna be a trip, but it's good. It's really beautiful right now. Oh, it's a mystery to me. We have agreed with which we have agreed, and you think you have to want more than you need. Until you have it all, you won't be free. Society, you crazy breed. Hope you're not lonely without me. Society, you crazy breed. Hope you're not lonely without me. When you want more than you have, you think you need. When you think more than you want, your thoughts begin to bleed. I think I need to find a bigger place. 'Cause when you have more than you think, you need more space. Society, you crazy breed. Hope you're not lonely without me. Society, crazy indeed. Hope you're not lonely without me. There's those thinking more, less is more. But if less is more, how you keeping score? Means for every point you make, your level drops. Kinda like you're starting from the top. You can't do that. Society, you crazy breed. Hope you're not lonely without me. Society, crazy indeed. Hope you're not lonely without me. Society, have mercy on me. Hope you're not angry if I disagree. Society, crazy and deep. Hope you're not lonely without me. Fish on! I've just changed lures because I was trawling a squid and I wasn't able to catch anything, and I finally switched it to a different lure that one of my friends gave me, and within about half an hour my line was taut and I had something wiggly on the end of it. I'll show you guys what my lure looks like right now. This is my new lure that I've been using. One of my friends gave it to me, and I was having a lot of luck with the squid in the Caribbean, but I didn't catch anything with it once I got to the Pacific side. So it just looks like a regular old fish, and then it's metal and hollow in the inside, and it has these beads in it, and then just these two giant hooks, so that I think the fish are also attracted to the sound. It's called a live target. I feel like one of those makeup people. So you can see the swatch in fish right here. And it has been awesome. It catches me a lot of mahi, which I love tuna, but I almost think that mahi dries better than tuna. And pretty much every time I put it in the water, I get something, and it also says surface on it right here. So that's all I know about it. And the way that I attach it to my fishing line is a way that one of the Caribbean fishermen taught me when I was in Antigua. They actually gave me this whole setup, and then I just trade out the lure on it every time. So it just has this little crimpy loop guy, which you can do really easily with crimps. And then to change it, I don't need any tools. I use my mousing wire, and it's not beautiful, but you basically just twist the shit out of it on this side. Whoa, this is opposite what I'm actually doing. And then you go back onto this side and twist the shit out of it here too. And I don't know why it's this long, but this is how long they made it when they did this squid one for me, so I just kept it the same. But this works really well. The mousing wire is stronger than the fishing line, so this is not the weak link. And it's really cheap and easy and pretty foolproof with all of these twistings in it. You can switch out lures without really going through much fancy fishing gear, which I don't have. And then this is, someone also gave it to me, but I think you can buy it for about $5 in any store. It's just a really simple plastic hand line. And then this is about the width of the fishing line that I have. And it's worked for me every time. I've yet to lose a line, but I do have a lot of friends in the Pacific who tell me tales of 40-kilo sailfish that take their line and just run away with the whole thing. So I'm sure that I will have that at some point in my future, but for now I try to use small lures because I also just can't eat that much fish on my own. There's no reason to catch something bigger than what I can eat in a couple days. Everyone I've talked to has different fishing philosophies on boats. A lot of people have really awesome deep sea reel sets with millions of lures and super strong line, but I just have this little hand line that someone gave me when I was still in the States, and I just experiment with different lures on it. In the Caribbean, I was using a squid lure and it worked really well, but ever since I got into the Pacific, it hasn't really been catching much for me. So I switched to the live bait lure, and it's working every time. Getting a huge fish in can be tricky with the hand line, but usually I just put it out and don't pay attention to it much and then realize I have a fish after it's already tired itself out. So I know that it has more of a chance of coming off the lure, but then another one will come on, so it doesn't really matter. I reel it in as best I can by hand and then tie everything off to the boat because I have learned that I'm really good at dropping stuff over. So I make off the hand line. I also make off my gaff when I'm at the gaff point because I've dropped those in the water too, and since I use it as a boat hook also, it's kind of unfortunate. When I came into Bonaire, I had dropped my gaff/boat hook in the water, and I had to jury rig a gaff with the boom of my sailing dinghy and a pair of scissors lashed to it. Everyone also always has a favorite way to kill a fish. The most common ways are gilling it, braining it with a winch handle, pouring alcohol into its gills, but my favorite way is just a nice simple poke through the brain and then a twist of the knife, and it instantly kills the fish, and it's clean and doesn't really cause as much trauma as the other ways. Since I don't have refrigeration on my boat and I'm just me, when I catch a big fish like this, I have to have some way of preserving it so that the meat doesn't go bad, because there's no way that I can eat a whole fish in one go. And Murphy's Law, every time I catch a fish, it's right after I've eaten a meal, so I'm usually not that hungry for it. So I like to dry it, and I'm going to run you guys through how I do it really quickly. I've also gone over it in an older video, but a lot of you are new on board, so I figured that I would tell you again. And my methods are better, and my fillets don't look like so much of a shit show as they did when I was just learning how to fillet. So please don't judge me. I know they're not perfect. They still taste just fine. Now I have my fillets. I'm going to cut them into strips and put them in this bowl with some salt and salt them for about an hour and then hang them up to dry underneath my solar panels, and I'll have fish jerky. Some of this is getting cooked for a meal, but I can only cook as much as I can eat today because I have no fridge. Chopped fish. I've set aside lunch and dinner for myself, and that's all I can set aside before it'll go back. But I really just like the taste of fish. Sometimes I add garlic, sometimes I add chipotle. You can add whatever you want. At this time, I'm just gonna add salt to it. get coated. This kills all the bacteria on the skin. I also washed it all in salt water. And then you just let it sit for about an hour. Right. It is 1:15. This is going to sit until 2:15. And then I am going to string it up with some embroidery thread and a sail needle and hang it under the solar panels to dry. And in about 24 hours, it'll start being ready to eat. So thank you, fish, for giving your life so that I can snack. Time has come. I have scissors, thread, and needle, and I'm going to string up this fish and hang it over there. Ah, so exciting! Okay, so we just thread through all these bad boys and string them up. That's about all there is to it. It's dried fish time in the city. I hate processing dried fish because it takes a long time, but it sure is worth it when you have that sweet, sweet meat clothesline hanging behind the helm. So excited for tomorrow when I can eat dried fish all day long, and the next day too. We have happy drying fish. Woo! Yum, 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 yum. It's not supposed to be in direct sunlight, but it will be protected by the panels most of the day except after 3, which is what it is now, and that's pretty much the best that I can do. So, here we go. Okay. Thanks for watching this week's video. I put up new videos every 2 weeks on Mondays, rain or shine. I am here in your computer or phone or whatever thing you use, bringing you tales of sailing. Thank you so much to Tish for putting these videos onto the internet for me. Currently I'm in French Polynesia, and the only way to get videos to the States is to actually physically mail them because the internet and cell here is very, very slow, and it would take probably 3 days of straight uploading to get one video up, and I don't have those capabilities. So these get posted old-fashioned style. It's pretty cool. If you guys want to check out what I'm doing currently in French Polynesia, my Instagram is @boatlizard, and I post stories and pictures and videos as often as I can. Thank you so much to all of my patrons who continue to make my journey possible. And if you'd like to become a patron, my Patreon is patreon.com/windhippie. Thank you so much. That's really cool. Thank you guys for all your lovely comments. I check YouTube whenever I'm in cell or Wi-Fi and eagerly await what you have to say about my videos, and try to respond to as many of you as possible. And I think that's all. I'll see you in 2 weeks with another full-length video, and patrons, I will see you next week with a little snack.